Have you ever caught yourself avoiding someone at a conference or an event because you saw their political post on LinkedIn? Or maybe you've unfollowed that old colleague who keeps sharing opinions that are completely opposite to yours? I get it. I live in Washington, D.C., where I know people working in the current administration and others whose careers have been completely upended by it. So I'm Zvi Band, author of Success is in Your Sphere and founder of multiple relationship platforms, most recently Relatable. And today I'm talking about why learning to love the person, not the politics, might be the most valuable relationship skill you can develop in 2025. Let me tell you about a dinner I hosted last year. I invited two brilliant entrepreneurs I knew, or at least thought, would hit it off. Both, I would say, pretty innovative thinkers in the same general industry. What I didn't anticipate, though, was the incredibly awkward silence when one mentioned working on a campaign for a politician the other person absolutely despised, and I would say that's putting it lightly. Now, for a moment, I thought I'd made a terrible mistake, but something actually fascinating happened. Instead of retreating to their ideological corners, they actually got curious. They asked questions. By dessert, they were open to exchanging contact information and exploring a potential collaboration that, who knows, may still lead somewhere. Now, this went completely against today's conventional wisdom, which seems to be more and more that you should surround yourself only with people who think like you. But in my decade plus building relationship technologies and coaching thousands of professionals, I personally have found the exact opposite to be true. Now, let's talk about the obvious thing that we know and see is the political filter, right? The increasingly common practice of filtering our professional and personal relationships based on political alignment. It feels comfortable and righteous in the moment, but here's why it's problematic, especially professionally. So first, it creates echo chambers that limit innovation. When everyone in your network thinks like you miss exposure to different perspectives that drive creative thinking. Studies show that politically diverse teams actually come up with more innovative solutions because they approach problems from different angles. Second, it shrinks your opportunity landscape. In business, opportunities don't care about political parties. That Republican you've been avoiding might be the perfect connection to your next big client. That Democrat you unfollowed, they might have insight into a market you're trying to crack. See, most people assume that political views define a person's whole character, which is just not true. My friend who has radically different views on taxation is still the same person who helped friend move apartments and brought soup when they were sick. People are complex, and reducing them to just their voting record, it's not just unfair, but I think it's bad business. A common misconception is that maintaining relationships across political divides means compromising your values. Actually, it doesn't. It means developing the emotional intelligence to separate policy from people, a skill that translates to every area of leadership. So how do we actually do this in practice? Well, here are 4 specific tactics I've found effective. First, adopt the politics pause. When you discover someone's political views differ from yours, I want you to pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this relevant to our professional relationship? Most times, not all the time, but most times, it simply isn't. Second, practice curiosity over judgment. Instead of thinking, how could anyone believe that? I wonder what experience led them to that conclusion. For example, when my friend Mark expressed a view I found pretty shocking about healthcare, instead of arguing, I asked, hey, what shaped that for you? His answer revealed a pretty interesting personal experience I'd never considered. Third, establish boundary zones. It's okay to say, hey, listen, I love our professional relationship and I care about you, but honestly, politics for me isn't a productive area for us to discuss. How about let's focus on your marketing strategy instead? It's not avoiding conflict, it's just channeling energy to where it's most productive. Finally, actively seek relationship bridges. When I discover political differences with someone valuable to my network, I intentionally look for shared interests, your common ground. Hey, I noticed that you're into biking. Have you tried the new trails at Rock Creek Park? See, creating connection points beyond politics strengthens even further relationships despite those differences. Maintaining relationships across political divides isn't always easy, especially in today's climate. But the professionals who can do this effectively have an enormous advantage in building networks that drive real opportunity and innovation. So here's your immediate next step. I want you to identify one person who you've been avoiding or judging because of their political views and reach out with a simple politics-free message, right? Something like, hey, Zach, I was thinking about our conversation on AI ethics last year and saw this article that reminded me of your perspective. We'll love to catch up soon. No mention of your disagreement about Middle East politics or anything like that. Just remember, the most valuable relationships aren't politically homogenous. They're built on the ability to connect with people as complex individuals, not political caricatures. In Washington, D.C., I've seen firsthand how the most successful leaders maintain relationships across aisles and administrations. Your career doesn't exist in a political bubble, and neither should your network. I hope you found this valuable. I'd love to let you hear about it in the comments if you had particular experiences. And of course, if there are topics that you'd love us to cover in a future video, just let us know. Thanks.